Good evening. This is Chuck Williams, and I had the awesome privilege of hosting the Monday Night Cepeda Zoom presentation. And tonight I was so excited, I almost forgot to hit record. I would have had a lot of unhappy people. We're going to have a packed out Zoom meeting tonight, but I know there's a whole lot of people that told me they could not be on live, and they want to make sure they got a copy of the recording. So if you'd like a copy of this recording, be sure and give the person who invites you to call. They'll be able to get to it and get you a copy. Tonight's presentation is about Isagenix. I am your host. My name is Chuck Williams. And before we jump into the presentation, I do want to go through this quick disclaimer. We do not take this lightly. It's a very serious part of our presentation. We're going to talk about some transformations physically. We're going to talk about some income. And we want you to know that there is no get rich quick. There's no secret cure here. We're just talking about great nutrition and a phenomenal business financial opportunity. Kathy Coover and the leadership have this disclaimer. And if you want to print it, whatever you want to do, that's great. But for the earnings, you can go to isagenixearnings.com. For the health part, you can go to isagenixhealth.net. A couple of great resources for you to dig into some of the clinical information and learn more. We'll go more into that in just a minute. There's a couple pictures, actually 3 pictures, if you want to count them exactly, of yours truly. The picture on the far left was before Isagenix. In all transparency, I'd actually lost a little bit of that fat before I started with the Isagenix products. But from the far left to the middle, I can tell you there was 0 exercise, 0 dieting, 0 hunger. It was amazing. Now, my wife Diane used to get so mad at me earlier in our life. I would just say I was going to lose some weight, and in a few days it was gone. Well, as I got into my 50s, that was not happening anymore. That body fat was just sticking around the belly, and I looked like your typical grandpa. It was getting harder and harder to chase grandkids around. And so I was ecstatic when I was able to drop 23 pounds in a relatively short period of time. Again, no exercise, no dieting, and was not hungry. I thought that was amazing. After being on these highly nutritious products for a while, I got turned on to some of the performance products, which Raphael will go into a little more detail later tonight. And I literally saw the 4 inches that I lost off my waist appear on my biceps, 2 on the right, 2 on the left, and I felt as good as I did back in my college days of playing baseball and football. So with that being said, I am a very amateur athlete at best. Now you have the privilege of getting to hear a story of a gentleman I've grown to love and admire. Raphael Turner has a phenomenal story. He's successful in his business, but his best days are definitely ahead. You're looking at one of the up-and-coming stars of Isagenix and the Cepeda team. So, Raphael, if you just take your time, take a few minutes, and share your story, not only just your transformation story. By the way, my wife saw these pictures, and she wants to know your secret. So tell all tonight how you did this in such a short time. So, Raphael, take it away, buddy.
Here's the secret. I used Isagenix.
Come on, that's great stuff.
We could just close up the call after that, right? That's it, man. Everybody has their hands on the secret. So, no, man. The funny thing is, and I tell people all the time, my story was not supposed to be that of a nutritional or physical transformation. It just so happened to happen. It happened to happen at the right time. So for me, former business owner. So I'll go back a little bit more. So I'm a former college baseball player, former professional player for 3 years. And I've always, since I stopped playing baseball, I told myself I don't want to work for anybody. Corporate America is not where I want to be. I never saw myself in that type of atmosphere. And so when I was done playing, when I got released, I moved to Charlotte, actually opened up a baseball facility, a youth baseball organization. We started with like 1 team. We went to 9 teams, about 2.5 years. So we saw tremendous growth, probably one of the fastest growing baseball organizations in the area. What I didn't see happening was how much time it was going to take from what I wanted to do ultimately, which was, my son was 3 at the time. He's now 8 years old. I wanted more time to be with him. I wanted the flexibility. But what I didn't realize, it wasn't until I actually sat down and talked about the Isagenix opportunity. I wasn't a business owner. I was owned by my business. Right? It wasn't a situation where I could step away and trust that I could continue to make that stream of income. So I was really tied to where I was. There weren't many trips. And like even the luxury that most people have of corporate America, of having that vacation time set, I did not have the comfort of just being able to walk away and even go on a week-long vacation, because there was no way that I could know and trust that my baseball organization would be run. So, that was one of the most enlightening things. But ultimately, what it boiled down to, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. I was getting home at about 10:30, 11 o'clock. And I just knew at it's about 28 years old, there had to be more for me. There's absolutely no way that what I was doing for the last almost 2.5 years, that I could do that for the next 20 to 30 years of my life. So something had to change. So what I ended up doing was I told my families that I was going to move on, and, you know, they were going to find some different organizations. And I went into corporate America to try to find my way out, to just figure some things out until I got my hands on the thing. And so I was director of operations at a local fitness facility. I got a chance to meet Christy Fisher. Before I literally met her, she was just a passerby on a day in, day out basis. What I recognized was somebody that was kind of living a lifestyle that I wanted to live. So it didn't look like she was working. It didn't appear to me that her daughter was in school. And so I grew curious. And so one day I stopped. I was like, you know, I don't know what you do, but whatever it is, I need to know, because you don't work and your daughter's never in school. So are you peddling something that I need to know about, or what's going on? And she stopped. She's like, look, first of all, I do have a job. Secondly, my daughter, she's homeschooled. She said, but you seem very curious, and I'll be more than willing to sit down with you and tell you a little bit more about what I do on a day-to-day basis. I think you're excellent at it. So, you know, me being open-minded and understanding where I am was not where I wanted to be ultimately. I was like, you know what, let me sit down and have this conversation. So I pull up in the Starbucks drivers in the Starbucks parking lot. She sends me a text message as I let her know I'm showing up. She said, hey, check out these videos before we get started. And I was like, dang, another one of those things, right? I didn't want to be rude. So I walk in and I sit down and I talk to her, and she's telling me about this nutritional company. She says, look, Raphael, you're already fit. You already have, you already have a great personality. You're in this industry, you know, and I'm sure people respect what you say. Why don't you use these products and see if they are life-changing enough to want to share them with other people? In my head, I was already fit enough to sell water to a well, to sell slime to a snail. It didn't matter what it was. I knew I could turn it into money. So I didn't anticipate that the products would be this good. So lo and behold, probably maybe a month and a half, maybe 2 months in, I ended up rupturing my Achilles. So the picture that you saw, I actually got those results while I was rehabbing a ruptured Achilles. That's the craziest part about the story. So I lose weight very easily. I refer to myself as a hard gainer. I eat a lot of meals. I was eating about 6 meals a day at the time. I was working out about five times a week. But when I started using the products, I went from working out 5 times a week to 3 times a week, about 45 minutes to an hour. I went from eating 6 meals a day to about 3 meals a day, and then incorporating the Isagenix system in it as well. So over 90 days, I ended up putting on almost 20 pounds of muscle, shed about 5% body fat. And I never seen my body so efficient in putting on lean muscle mass. And I knew at that point in time, I was like, okay, there's something going on with this stuff. This can't be real. But I know one thing. I know a crap ton of guys that need this yesterday. So that's really what spurred my belief in, you know, what Isagenix is doing, the nutrition, and, you know, what really got my business propelled. I'm like, you know, I'm going to tell as many baseball players as I know about it, and see what happens. And this has just been like the self-development. This has been far, far beyond a product for me, what it's done for me mentally, my mindset, and what I put out energy-wise. This has been incredible.
Awesome. Well, I appreciate you sharing your story in that detail. That's exciting. Now, as you and I talked over the weekend, we're going to kind of go through some slides here so the average person who's watching this can get a good idea of what's going on with Isagenix. You should be able to see on the screen it says market trends, and we're in front of some awesome market trends. You mentioned you didn't have a lot of weight to lose, but this is an epidemic in our country, and we've exported it globally to where it's really a problem globally. But here in the United States, for sure, a high percentage of people are obese. One of the saddest things I see is how many young people are obese, teenagers, even younger, just heavily overweight. Just so sad to me. This is Lisa Harder, and she's a performance, and so she's not like you. She didn't get in to lose a lot of weight. She got in to be better, healthy, and fit. Another one is some of the challenges we face. So you've got the obesity epidemic I mentioned a few minutes ago. You've got toxicity. You got bankrupt food. You got premature aging, stress and physical, both physical and financial. This is the last negative slide, and we're going all positive, people. So I just want to let you know there is a definite need for what we have. But how do we get these toxins into our body? Well, we drink them, we breathe them, we eat them, we put them on our body. Now, this is the fun part. Let's get into the solutions. The Isagenix solutions are multiple. And I've asked Raphael to talk a little bit about, from his background as a professional athlete, how important it was for him that these products are scientifically backed. So, Raphael, why don't you take this one?
Well, the biggest thing people got to understand, and these are conversations that I have all the time. Literally, as I was getting on the phone call, I was getting a text message from a guy right now. He's one of the top prospects in the Blue Jays organization. And he's saying, oh, is this stuff, this is not NSF certified. I'm like, dude, the certification that we have on these products is far beyond what NSF can provide. Most people don't even know. NSF, they started as an appliance certification program, right? National Sanitation Foundation. They oversee things like dryers, and appliances that you can notice in your kitchen. But you know what we have Informed Sport, we have Informed Choice. This is those two brands are brands that are recognized internationally, right, in terms of how they test materials for efficacy and also purity. Like, this is insane, people. For me, the science is imperative, because what I'm giving these guys is not just something that I trust, but it's factually shown to improve performance. It's completely safe. And you're not gonna have a better, more stringent testing policy than what Isagenix has. Put it this way: the same people that oversee the Olympics, right, for performance enhancing supplements, and we abide by the same guidelines as those athletes. So you can't get any tighter than that. I mean, the Olympics, they're popping people from 5 years ago that are using performance enhancers. I've never seen anything better. And I challenge a lot of these athletes, you know, anything that they use, show me scientific research. If you can show me peer-reviewed, third-party, clinical research with a product that you're using right now, I'll consider shifting what I do with Isagenix to what you have. But you won't find that. You cannot find that anywhere. So that's, to me, that is far beyond what takes us head and shoulders above any product that you'll find out there. You can't dispute it.
Awesome. So we've got multiple solutions here. We're going to focus tonight on the performance. We're going to touch on multiple categories, but we're going to focus on the performance. But we have weight wellness, which really Isagenix, if you poll the average person, if they've even heard of Isagenix, they know of it as a weight loss company. Raphael is going to give some of his expertise, especially on some of the new products in the performance category tonight. We've also got vitality and well-being. That's my favorite. As a baby boomer, I'm 58 years old, and I'm loving what these products are doing for my wife and I as we have youthful aging going on. 6 grandkids that we love to chase around, and they cannot keep up with us. So that's exciting. And I'm telling you, it's these products that make that happen. Then you get your personal care and beauty. And then the reason a lot of us are here tonight is the financial wellness, the financial opportunity that's available through Isagenix. So as we go through some of these products, I wanted Raphael to give his take on some of these products and how he talks to his customers about them. So Raphael, let's start with the number one product of Isagenix, or Isoline Shake.
Isoline Shake, an absolute staple. This is something that I communicate with. You know, I have to tell this to my athletes all the time, because they think in terms of performance enhancers. Guys, this is just nutrition, 23 vitamins and minerals, everything that you need. This is probably going to, when you look at it, this is probably going to be the best meal that most people have on a daily basis, you know, period. But for me, it's really a matter of getting them to restructure their brain to understand you're putting a meal in a shake, and you're getting the best of the best when you're putting these things in your body. We're talking about pharmaceutical grade vitamins, minerals too. Guys, you got to understand, vitamins and minerals, they work hand in hand. One without the other, it's less effective. So, you know, cellular implementation of these vitamins, you need the minerals to be able to do that. And so telling these guys that, look, this is something that can be implemented is so much better. You know, think about, guys, just take one shake, right? If we look at it, you got a canister of shake, you got 14 servings in it. It's what, $45 for a canister? Where else, when you do the math on it, that's about $3.20 per meal. Where can you go and get a meal for $3.20? It's going to help you put on lean muscle, shred fat, increase your energy levels, and restore your body's health on a cellular basis. It's that simple.
You can barely get a cup of coffee for that, Raphael. This next one is our cleanse. Why don't you share a little bit about how you share this with people?
The cleanse for life, I tell them, look, the cleanse and the shakes, they go hand in hand. It's very much like those vitamins and those minerals. So I can, if you know, because I got guys, sometimes they say, okay, well, I just want to do the cleanse, because now they start to understand what a cleanse is. But why would I give you a cleanse and you're just going to put poor nutrition in it, right? On that. That's like, you know, when you look at this, the cleanse, I always compare it when I'm talking to these athletes, I talk about it like a car. If you drive a Lamborghini and you change the oil, you drop the pan, you empty the old oil to get everything out, all the maybe the engine parts and, you know, things, shards that are in the oil, you're not going to put bad oil back in. You're going to put clean oil in the car and get that to circulate in the engine. So that cleanse is really, that's that oil drop, get the bad stuff out, completely reset the body on a cellular level so that we can accept nutrition much better, right? So you got to have both. You can't have bad nutrition in a cleanse, but the cleanse for life, basically what you have natural cleansing things, natural cleansing herbs, also things like aloe vera has natural cleansing properties. So when you implement this thing, we're literally creating a pathway within the cell to release the toxin. It has to go through a process for it to be released. And then when we can renew that body on a cellular basis, we can thus absorb nutrition much more effectively. Better nutrition absorption, that means that we're going to be transporting better nutrients to the muscles to build that lean muscle fiber, lean muscle tissue.
Great. And for sake of time, let's focus on the Isagenix Supreme, but I know you could cover almost all the products on this page. The energy is one of our favorite categories, but share a little bit about the Isagenix Supreme.
It's the buffer system. Isagenix Supreme, especially talking to my athletes, everybody needs it, but recovery. You know, we talk a lot about the emotional and mental stress, but also the physical stress is also important. You got to think about it. When you lift, you're literally producing tears in the muscle fibers. So the faster the muscle can recover, the faster it can build. And so helping these guys understand that if I can recover faster, which this product helps, I can then go to the gym more. I can lift more weight. My body's going to recover faster. I can do a lot more in the long run.
All right, speaking of those topics, this is a slide I've been waiting all day to hear you describe. I've got a guy on my team, Versal Shaw, also a former professional athlete, and when you guys start talking about this kind of product, I get pretty excited. So why don't you take your time and walk us through how you do your workouts and how you teach your players to work out using these products.
Right. So the AMP Nitro, that's a pre-workout formula. Typically, you want to have it about 15. I think it's about 15 to 20 minutes before. And what we're doing is we're opening up those blood vessels so we can have better nutrient transport. So also another thing that you'll find in the Nitro, it has caffeine. Is it the beta-alanine? I want to say it is. Also, it's going to increase your focus while you're working out. So just really gets you in the zone. So the Nitro is good for that. We want to open up those blood vessels. We can get a better pump. It's going to help push you maybe and break through some plateaus within the gym. So that's imperative. I use it every single time. Sometimes I even mix the Nitro with the powder. Don't tell anybody. The BCAA Plus reformulation, that now we can use that as an intra-workout. A lot of BCA, we had the BCAAs before that we implemented as a recover after, but now we have these where you can utilize it while you're working out to help with fatigue, muscle fatigue as you're going through your workout. So that's a good one. It's almost, think of it almost like a Gatorade, but better. But, you know, no artificial flavors, colors, sweeteners, but it's going to help energize you throughout the workout. So that should be BCAA Plus, and then you have the repair. That stuff is a beast. I got a chance to be in the test group. You got things like turmeric, black pepper. You know, this has been a hot issue right now, collagen. So in the AMP repair, you got collagen peptides. What those collagen peptides do, especially, this is why I love it so much. A lot of times when I work out my legs, my knees get sore. So those collagen peptides actually help with exercise-induced muscle and tendon soreness, and cartilage soreness. So excellent for the joints. If you really want to, if you like you do have, you know, joint stiffness or joint soreness, and you want to see that repair happen faster, you got to get the AMP repair. And then you bring in the big daddy of the tri-release. That's the anytime snack. That's what I say. You don't necessarily have to have it after you work out. You can. That's a great time to put it in. But the beautiful thing about the tri-release protein is that you can use it anytime. It's a lot more low calorie than what you'll find from the isolene shake. But you have three different types of protein in it. And those three different types of protein, they release at a different pace, at a different rate. So, you know, especially if you're a huge advocate for the bedtime belly buster, that right there should be a go-to. because while you're asleep, that protein is going to continue to release at different periods of time throughout your sleep. So I believe I want to say it's whey, egg protein, and there's also the rice. I believe it's rice protein. So you got 3 different types of protein. Definitely a good snack for me, especially when I'm talking to my athletes. These guys, they need that additional protein. Guys, especially you got to look at it. And these are raw facts, raw statistics that for the last 40 years, we've been consuming a lot more calories, but we're also consuming exponentially less protein. So to get the amount of macronutrients that you need, especially from a protein standpoint in this, and actually get less calories in, so you're not wasting any calories, that's the perfect thing to add to anybody's regimen on a daily basis.
Well, for sake of time, I almost skipped this last product here, but I just couldn't do it. This is my favorite product, as I mentioned when you and I talked over the weekend, and I want to hear you describe it. But I just, when John Anderson, the developer of over 2,000 products, says this product right here could be the greatest discovery of our time, that wakes me up. In fact, Raphael, there's not a day goes by that I'm not explaining what a telomere is to somebody, because most people don't know, but I am surprised how many people are becoming aware. Let's skip to the next slide here and let you tell us a little bit about this Isagenix that people are so excited about.
Isagenix, yeah, it's an absolute game changer. Basically, guys, when you look at it, what we're just looking at is basically your DNA, right? On the end, the end caps of your DNA are the telomeres, and as your cells begin to divide and they split, the telomeres, you could think of them like if you think about a shoestring. At the end of that shoestring, you have I don't know the names of them. I had somebody tell me before. But you have those little plastic tips that allow you to tie it up, right? Have you ever washed the shoe so much, or you got those kids, they like to bite at their shoelaces, then they begin to fray, and it becomes absolute chaos to be able to tie that shoe back up. The same thing kind of happens with your DNA. So as those telomeres, as the cells split, the telomeres shorten and they fray. As we start shortening those telomeres, we shorten those DNA strands, that's when we start to speed up the aging process. More gray hairs, more wrinkles, worse memory, worse eyesight. I mean, and you got scientific studies that show the direct correlation between how much we age and telomere shortage. And so to bring a product that's going to preserve those telomeres, keep them long, for me, talking to people, especially my athletes, there's a reason why we say a 30-year-old baseball player is too old, right? So I'm telling them, look, man, you want to stay young, you want to keep those young Hawkeyes, you want to be able to recognize that curve versus the fastball or the slider or the change. Dude, this is going to be an absolute game changer, and you're going to absorb the product even better. You want to keep your cells as youthful as possible.
Great job. I know personally, in my case, I saw my hair color turn back to its more natural color. I was pretty much all gray, started using this product on a fairly long-term basis. And all of a sudden, my wife and I noticed that the hair on the floor when I was getting my hair cut, there wasn't more of it. It does not grow more hair, but the hair that was there was much darker, more like it was when I was a very young man. So I absolutely ecstatic about what this product is doing on the inside of my body. This last slide here, it just says there are a lot more products than what Raphael and I covered tonight. We just want to give you a tip of the iceberg of some of the core products. But to learn more about the products and specific needs and things, you can go to isagenixhealth.net. Great resource there, even with our clinical research. Raphael, when you're talking to a brand new person, you're helping them get set up. Why don't you walk us through how you kind of help them pick what's best for them?
I make a recommendation, and people, do not be afraid to ask people, do you mind if I make a recommendation? I don't even ask them anymore. I say, look, if you want the best bang for your buck, my recommendation is you start one of our 30-day systems. And you got the basic, the premium, and the value. You can think of it like a good, a better, and a best. And I break down, I started the value system. I always start with the value. And I play up the value of the value system, because without a doubt, they're going to get the best results. You got your 2 meals a day for the next 30 days. Also your cellular cleansing system. Those are the 2 components that you absolutely need to get results. But then you got your snack system. Meal replacement bars, protein chips, all natural energy shots with chocolates you can snack on. And then you got your multivitamin and your greens. Those 2 components make this stuff so much more potent. Your body's going to absorb the nutrition even better, and you're going to release those toxins even more effectively. That's why this system right here is the best. I call it the chalupa, right? So tell them it's, you're looking at $19 a day, approximately about $9.50 per meal. Take one step down, you got the premium system. It's going to come with everything in the value, but not going to have those game-changing components in the multivitamin and the greens. That one's $13 a day. You're looking at about $6.50 per meal. Then you take one more step down, and you got the system that's bare bones, just basic. You got just the basic stuff, right? So you got 2 meals a day cellular cleansing system. That one is $9 a day. You're looking at about $4.50 per meal. So here's what I know. There's absolutely no way that you're going to go out and find a meal at any one of those costs that's going to help you put on muscle, shred fat. Do you agree? Right? And they always do. But if those don't work within the budget, then I'll explain to them. There are some other ways that we can go. We can look at this, but just understand when you get results with a lesser system, you're going to end up paying double. You might as well save the money off the top. Go with one of the 30-day systems, get the results. You got a 30-day money back guarantee. What do you have to lose? Right? And just, ask, just be honest and ask, or do any of those fit within your budget? Figure out where they stand and how you can help them.
Great job. And for those of you that are guests, we're going to wrap this call pretty soon, but I don't want to shortchange you. There's a few more important slides we need to share with you because we want to show you how you get your products paid for. So we're going to wrap it up with that. And basically, one of the things I love about Isagenix, and I was telling Raphael my story over the weekend, and I went into a little longer story than I normally do, but was just sharing that this is not my first rodeo. I have been the #1 incomer with 4 different network marketing companies, and I have finally found my home with Isagenix. This company is absolutely built on integrity. The vision of this company is strong, and it's what the focus of the leadership is, and the leadership is strong. It's to impact world health and free people from physical and financial pain, and in the process, create the most trusted and respected health and wellness company in the world. That is a strong vision statement. I'm going to let Raphael cover the opportunity here as he does with his prospects, but this is how you get your products paid for.
All right, Chuck, I'm trying to roll, man. The thing I love about your calls, y'all stay on point, you stay on time, so I'm trying to roll. So, guys, everybody comes in, you're going to have a tremendous experience. That's just going to happen. You're going to sleep better. You're going to have better energy. People are going to notice that you're losing weight. They're going to notice that you're putting on muscle. At that point in time, just tell them what you're doing because they're going to ask. So you find 2 friends. This is called you share. I always use the example of the value system. Let's say your sister down there, she wants to get started. We introduce her to it. She has a 30-day money back guarantee. She gets value system. That's an extra $100 in pocket. Then you go to your brother. He's also interested. He's been trying to shred fat, and he's tried everything under the sun that's not working. And he wants to get started with the best of the best, the chalupa, the value system, most popular system we have. And that's an additional $100. Now, the cool thing about this, you got just made $100 per person, so $200. The commission week works from Monday to Sunday. Oh, look at that. You rolling, Chuck. The commission week works from Monday to Sunday. Whenever you share 2 or more people with a qualified system within the same week, they double the bonus. So instead of you making $100 per person, you make $200 per person. And that's the first step. The next step we look at is they share. This is now teaching your sister and teaching your brother, whoever those 2 people are, how they can get their products paid for as well, because people are going to ask questions. So your sister, she says, oh yeah, I know 2 people right now at work. They've been asking me about my results, and they've been trying to shred some fat too. Help her get to accountability partners. She shares with 2 people. Isagenix is going to provide you a bonus of $100 for helping your sister find her own 2 people. We call that her being a consultant, just like when you found your 2 people, you became a consultant. So your sister, she becomes a consultant. She gets her 2 people. Isagenix is going to pay you $100 for showing her how to get her products paid for. Same thing for your brother. He introduces 2 people. Isagenix pays you a $100 bonus for showing your brother how to get his products paid for as well and becoming a consultant. After that, then when you became a consultant, when you introduce your first 2 people, I'm sorry, I totally skipped over it. We have what's called a consultant bonus when you share with your first 2 people. Right now, there's a promotion being ran until January where it used to be $50, but once you share with your first 2 people, that's a $150 bonus. Right? So when you share with your first 2 people, you made a total of $550. The same thing, you're going to teach your sister how to do that, your brother how to do that. If you show them how to do that within your first 60 days, Isagenix is going to pay you another $250 bonus. Total, when you look at these numbers, you have a chance to earn $1,000 in bonuses for you sharing with 2 people and teaching 2 people how to share with 2 people as well.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, that might have seemed a little confusing, and we do it all the time, so we're not confused by that. But just give it the person who invited you. I want Raphael to share this next slide because, in our opinion, this next slide is really where the rubber meets the road. This is what separates this from your typical opportunity. This is residual income. So Raphael, take a few minutes. Don't rush this slide. Take your time and tell us why this is so important to you and the people you share with.
So the power too, you build 2 sales teams, and you earn those cycles. Let's not get stuck in the jargon, but you know how this thing works. We just looked at the you share, they share model, right? You help 2 people get started. Then you show 2 people how to help their 2 people. So you end up having 4 people come in. Then you have those 4 people, they share with 2 people because people are going to notice. So then we start to see this number just, it's going to double, quadruple. It's going to keep on going. So we go from 4 to 8 to 16 to 32, 64, 128. Every time it's going to double, right? And what I always explain to people is this: you have to shift your mind from an employee mindset to a business owner's mindset. That is what separates this compensation plan and how you understand it. Because once you wrap your head around that, it's different. So think about this: you only have 24 hours in a day. Right? So no matter what, no matter how much money you can potentially make, you can never make more than that amount of money within 24 hours. Would you rather get paid $100 of the limited amount of work that you could put in 24 hours? Or would you rather make 1% of 5,000 other people that are putting in that work as well? Which one would you rather have? Me, I know what I want. I'd rather have the 1%. But the beauty about Isagenix is as your team grows, nobody works for you. They work with you. And we get paid 6% off of everything that our teammates do. You're not in business by yourself. You're just in business. You're not in business by yourself. You're just in business for yourself, right? So as your team begins to grow, these cycles accumulate. We have banks. So once you have on one of your sales team, you see it right there, the 600 BV, you get that. On the other side, you have 300 BV on the other side. The system recognizes it. You don't have to do anything. Isagenix tracks this in real time. They recognize it in the system, and they pay you out one cycle. One cycle is $54. It doesn't seem like a lot until ... You understand the value of a cycle. Right? So the value of a cycle, if you just look at that first line right there, if you're just getting 1 cycle per week, right? $54 doesn't sound like a lot, but think about this, people. $54 per week, in order to yield, which is the annual income is $2,800. In order to yield that, you would need to take almost $100,000, put it in the bank at 3% interest to get that kind of money. Who on this call has an extra $100K that they can't touch for an entire year just to make an extra $2,800? If you can answer that question like that, you got another source of income. But here's the deal: I didn't have that. I don't have that. But the beauty is, one day I probably will. In the meantime, I have a company like Isagenix that says, you know what, Raphael, as long as you purchase 100 BV on a monthly basis, you have a chance to have that 1 cycle per week. Only thing, I can invest as little as $150 I spend on food anyway, and I can yield $2,800 on a yearly basis, and that's just cycling once. Now, if we really want to get frisky with the compensation plan, Isagenix allows you to cycle up to 250 times a week. Come on, people. Come on, somebody. That's $13,500 of residual income over the course of a year. I believe it's $702,000. I can't really see it on my screen. $702,000 of residual income on a yearly basis. And when you max that thing out, they allow you to do it again, and it just gets easier. So once you understand the compensation model and you understand the value of this residual plan, it's a wrap, man. You will not sleep. So you want me to get that? So I'll close this out if you want me to. So guys, you got choices here. You know, you are where you are right now in your life because of the choices you have made and the choices you have allowed others to make for you. You know, I just started telling some of my own teammates that you're at this point not because of things that you don't know to do. You know what to do, but you just have yet to implement it. And now you've been provided another solution. And if this is not the solution, then what is? And if now is not the time, then when is the time going to be? And that's for you to decide. You know what you need in your life. You know the change that needs to be made. You pull the trigger. Look, here's the deal. I don't write the mail. I just deliver it. The rest is completely up to you. But I appreciate you guys making it to the call tonight, Chuck. I appreciate you having me on. I'm excited for the new people that decide to join, especially because you've heard my story, and I hope you can relate. And it's been wonderful. Let's do it again.
Raphael, thank you very much. And if you've been a guest, I want you to get back with the person who invited you and ask them, how do you get set up as a new customer? They'll help you get set up. Once you're set up, you can decide where you go from there. We hope you take it all the way to the top. For those of you that are already in Isagenix, I want to encourage you to take a look at the ISA delivery option that the company made available a few months ago. If you're not taking advantage of this, this is an incredible opportunity for you to get your shipping covered with a very, very small cost one time a year. It's amazing promotion. I highly recommend you take advantage of it. So in the chat box, let's all give Raphael some love. He did a great job tonight. And Raphael, thank you. We'll do it again. God bless you all. Get back with the person who invites you. We'll see you soon.
Appreciate you, Chuck. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Raphael.